Alright, welcome back to the channel. It's that time of the year where we all want to be enjoying those steaks on the grill. But this is our reality. We got a mess. Let's get this cleaned up. Man, that wall-mounted pressure washer is going to be a big help here. So we'll start with warming the grill up a little bit to loosen up everything inside. After it's warm, we'll shut it down, open it up, let it cool, remove that propane tank. Pop the grill grates off. Next, we'll remove the flavorizer bars. Do a close inspection of all these internal components. If you need any replacements, I got links in the description. On my last video, this was a lot of questions were asked about this. These burner tubes are super easy to remove. You just pop them out, disconnect the igniter, and that's it. Now we'll just take the igniters and tuck them away inside the holes, just to try to keep everything, reasonably dry while we're working. Oh, and there's that chili pot again. That is nasty right there. So then I like to start off with the pressure washer just to knock all the big stuff off. That way when we start our scrubbing, we're not just dragging all this grease around. And for those of you that just want to do like a minimal cleanup, I mean, this is almost enough right here. You could put it back together and go, but that's not the way we roll. So this year we'll be using a biodegradable, food-safe, barbecue-specific cleaner degreaser. And we'll put it on nice and thick, agitate it in with our dish brush. This is kind of a medium coarse bristle brush. Really want to try to get all that grease off. Do a nice rinse. Apply the product again. Now we're going to come back with a coarse bristle brush and just really get those tough to get areas. This is where we really start getting kind of nuts with the cleaning, if you know what I mean. Alright, and we want to make sure we rinse all this product off super good, man. We don't want any of that stuff left in the grill. Now this grill's been sitting outside for a year now and just collecting dirt, dust. It's got like a thick pancake layer on there, but this pressure washer is just cutting through it like warm butter. What a good machine to have around the house. I use this thing for everything. Another common question, should we be spraying this pressure washer directly into the different components on the grill? Now I would use your common sense with this. I mean, it's very safe to use, but if it looks like it might mess something up, then don't spray it in there. So for those of you that are unfamiliar with car detailing, this is a foam cannon. This basically applies a product in a foam format onto whatever you're trying to wash, and it just makes it so much more fun to use and so easy. But you could also do this in a wash bucket just as well. With stainless steel, we want to be very careful that we're not pressing hard and grinding into the metal. You will scratch it. So again, always try to work it in the direction of the grain of the stainless and just really light. Let the product do the work, not the agitation with the towel. I mean, in some cases you may have to come back by and give a second pass with the towel, but in most cases the dirt just falls right off. Some more common questions. Do these chemicals affect the cook box? Now, I would say rinse, 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 so that you don't have to worry about it. I mean, most of them are food safe, but if you rinse it well, do a good job getting all that product out of the cook box. Not only that, but at the end of this process, we're going to do a nice hot burn to burn off any residual product that may be left behind and or water to dry out the system. So I'm not too worried about that. Now with time, things seem to drip down behind these knobs. I think it's worth popping them off at this point and giving them a good wipe down so it's nice and clean back there too. I mean, why not? We're this deep into the project. A little bit will go a long way. Now we want to give those igniters a good wipe down, get all the water off, anything that might have dripped onto them, get them nice and cleaned up so that they work super effectively. Alright, so far that was super easy. Now it's time to get after that super cruddy, dirty stuff that we've been cooking on and really caked on there. So we'll run the pressure washer across the grill grates. Does such a good job. You don't really have to do much more than this, but of course we're going to. Now for everybody out there thinking, man, he is pressure washing all the flavor off of these grates. You know what? I agree with you a tiny bit, but after a while this stuff gets nasty. Here in Hawaii we cook year round, so man, it's gotta go. Now some of you that didn't take great care of your grill are going to be looking at some of these items and think, man, they're not savable, they're rusted, or there's something that's unfixable about them. You know what? Don't be overly concerned. I have links to all this stuff in the description so that you can pick them up. I mean, obviously we want to take good care of this stuff. This stuff isn't cheap, but in the event that it's ruined, you know, you can always replace the grates, the flavorizer bars, or replace any of these items. And it's not overly expensive. So this is where, as a detailer, you kind of want to really get it as clean as possible, but you got to manage your expectations. These things have been sitting in the bottom of the grill under high heat for a long time, you know, with all kinds of stuff dripping down on it. I mean, I don't expect them to look like brand new again, but I do want them clean. I want them disinfected and ready to go for the grilling season. So, you know, you can spend all day scrubbing on these, trying to get that last little bit of discoloration off, but it might not be worth that. Now with the flavorizer bars, again, I'm not trying to get these back to like new condition. I just want to get all the nastiness off so that we're happy to use the grill again. And for those of you that are new to the channel, welcome, and consider hitting that subscribe button. I try to do things that I think are cool, and hopefully you'll like them too. So if you want to join us on that journey, hit that subscribe button. See you on the next one also. Alright, so this year the drip tray is shot, so that thing's going straight in the trash. I'll just clean up the main tray, and we'll be putting a new disposable drip tray in later. All right, now that we got it really clean, we got to put some protective coating on it. So we'll start with the stainless steel protectant. Man, this stuff is a cleaner and polish. It's good. Last time I used a Magic product, man, I really like that too. This time I'm trying Wyman's. Both of them have been really good to me over the years. So we'll put a nice big thick coat on. This grill lives outside, so I want to make sure it's got plenty of protection on it. And when you're doing stainless steel, you always want to do it in the direction of the grain. Kind of wipe it around, level out the product. Turn around, flip the towel, and buff it to a nice shiny luster. You can always flip the rag back over where there's some product on it. Come back and buff it out. Man, that looks good. Man, it just makes it so much better when everything's new and shiny and slick, man.
All right, so a lot of the comments the last time were like, is it really necessary to clean it at that level? I mean, not really, but you know, I run a detailing operation here, so I want my stuff super nice and clean and shiny, and when I come out to use it, I don't want any bugs in there. I mean, those of you that live around areas where maybe something could get in there, I mean, everything that drips down in there, yeah, it makes good flavor, but it smells good for everything around the area that wants to come and get into your grill. Now, if you keep it indoors, that's one thing, but my grill sits outside, so I want to make sure it's nice and clean at least once a year, man. Now, guys, I don't do this every single week, obviously. So here's where we take a turn from grilling to detailing. Now, I've done a video on this Griot's Garage ceramic 3-in-1 wax, and man, on a vehicle, this stuff is unbelievably burly for what it is. So, man, I'm gonna spray this on, you know, all the painted areas, not around the box, but everywhere else that's painted, because man, it repels water, it's hydrophobic. It's gonna just make that grill last a lot longer. Usually when I own a grill, it tends to rust and everything, but man, you put something like this on there, the water's gonna repel, the grill's gonna last way, way, way much longer time. So here we go, we'll put it on. This stuff's easy to put on. Wipe it on, level it around, flip the rag, and buff it off. Man, and you can tell already, it's like crazy slick as soon as you put that on, it's crazy. And you can also just put it on the rag if you don't want to make a mess. And it's okay if this gets on the plastic too. It's a really good protectant. Everything, UV, water, elements. Man, and here in Hawaii where it rains all the time and the humidity level is insane, you know, stuff like this don't last long. And I gotta say, for the age of this grill, I'm looking at it right now, it looks dynamite. I mean, and considering the amount that I use it. So just try to work it in and get every painted surface the best you can. I mean, you know, we're not building watches here. But we don't really want to miss half the project either. Now with these products, we want to be careful. We don't want this in the cooking area where these chemicals are going to be in our food. But there's just no risk whatsoever on these painted areas. Even put a little bit on these knobs. Now, if you want to see this stuff in action, I'll put a link up in the corner where you can check it out. And I put it on a car hood, and man, I just kept beating it up with products, and man, it just never wanted to die. I can already hear the comments. Why on earth would you want to be spraying all that stuff on your grill? Why would you want it to look great and repel water? All for at a reasonable price. I don't understand.
All right, it's time to put this thing back together. We're basically just gonna reverse everything we did taking it apart and put it all back together. Pretty straightforward. Man, that is looking nice, man. After all those grill sessions, I gotta say, man, it looks really good. Now that it's all back together, I recommend a 15-minute minimum long hot burn. It's going to dry the grill out entirely and burn off any residue left behind from the cleaning. Now we'll season the grill grates with your favorite high temperature cooking oil. Make sure that it's got a really high smoke point because man, this grill is going to get hot.
Alright, thanks for watching the video all the way to the end. If you guys have any questions about how I clean the grill, or any suggestions that you want to share with the viewers, that would be awesome. Also, consider hitting that subscribe button. We'd love to have you join the team. And check out one of my other videos. They're probably pretty cool too. Alright, we'll see you on the next one.